teacher. No, I don't.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Old Testament Test Kitchen. I'm your host, Jimmy Jambalaya. Last week, we showed you how to properly cook pheasant. But this week, we're going to be testing the diet that Daniel and his friends used when they were captive in Babylon. Here to tell you more about what we're doing today is our co-host, Gammy Num Nums.
Thanks. I'm Gammy, and in Daniel chapter 1, King Nebuchadnezzar attempts to feed several young men, including Daniel and his friends, food and drink from his table. Daniel and his friends, however, do not want to do this because it is against God's law. So instead they ask if they can eat vegetables and drink water. The man in charge of Daniel and his friends say, this is okay, you can try this for 10 days, and after 10 days, if you're healthier and stronger than the other men, then you can continue to eat that.
So what exactly was the king trying to get them to eat?
That's a great question. We're not exactly sure, however, we think it was some sort of meat and some sort of drink that was used in false worship to gods who were not the one true God.
So what are we going to be using in our tests today?
Well, for Daniel's diet, we're going to be using an assortment of vegetables, including carrots, celery, and lettuce. And we're going to be using flavored water. For the king's diet, we'll be using McDonald's hamburgers and grape Kool-Aid.
Okay, well let's get the audience's opinion on this. Which of these diets do you think would taste better?
McDonald's.
Which of these diets do you think will be healthier? That's what we're here to test. Which of these diets do you think will make you stronger?
Vegetables! We are really lucky because today we have two volunteers who are going to help us test this. Hayden and James David, could you please come up here?
So for our test today, Hayden will be testing the king's diet, and James David will be testing Daniel's diet for 10 days. But before we feed these two guys, we're going to run a few tests to see how strong and healthy they are right now. First, when I say go, I want you to run to the wall and back as fast as you can. You ready? Go! That's pretty fast. Now let's test your strength. I've got a couple of weights here, and I want to see how easily you can lift these weights. That's pretty good. That seems a little too easy. Let's up the ante a bit. We've got a couple of 40-pound weights here. Let's see how you do with those. All right, they got them up. But I don't see them lifting any higher than that.
Alright, we're going to be feeding these diets, the king's diet to Hayden and the Daniel's diet to James David for the next 10 days. And we're going to see how it goes. So we'll be back in 10 days.
James David, come with me.
Yeah, you can take some carrots, James David, and some water. And alright, come with me, Hayden.
Yay, 10 days later. 10 days later. 10 days later. 10 days later. And 10 days later. And then another 10 days later. Then another 10 days later.
Well, it's been 10 days. How have our guys been doing?
Great. Hayden has only been eating hamburgers and grape Kool-Aid for the last 10 days, and James David has only been eating vegetables and drinking water.
Well, let's bring in Hayden first to see how he's been doing on the king's diet.
All right, let's have Hayden.
Hayden, you're not looking so well, buddy.
Terrible.
Feeling pretty bad. Well, let's run a couple of tests to see if you're any healthier or stronger than you were 10 days ago. If you would, try to run to that wall and back as fast as you can. I think he's done. Let's bring in James David. Well, James David, you're definitely bigger. But let's see if you're any healthier and stronger than you were before. Why don't you run around for us? Well, he's definitely faster, but let's see if he's any stronger. Why don't you give these weights another try for us? Wow, he's definitely stronger than
Audience, what do you think? What was the better diet, the king's diet or Daniel's diet?
Daniel's diet.
Yeah.
Most certainly. I don't think we have any way to deny that Daniel's diet or God's diet was certainly the best. Be sure to join us next week when we test. What are we testing next week?
How to make unleavened bread.
How to make unleavened bread. We'll see you next time on Old Testament Test Kitchen.